Search resumes for a missing teenager in the Kentucky River. That teen went under the water in the river at Fort Boonesborough State Park near the Madison-Clark County line.
A lot of crews are looking for him right now. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is live in Madison County talking to search teams. Phil?
Victor and Kristen, we are actually on the Madison County side of the Kentucky River right now, very close to Fort Boonesborough, where there is a very involved effort to try to find this missing young man. We are told that he is a 16-year-old from Texas. There are crews from Madison County, Clark County, Laurel County, and other agencies that are involved in this very extensive search. Now, this all started just before 3 o'clock Tuesday when the Madison County Sheriff's Office got a call of a young person struggling in the water near Fort Boonesborough. Police tell us the boy, who's 16 and from Texas, was struggling to swim in the river, went under and did not resurface. A few moments ago, we got an update from the Madison County Sheriff's Office about what happened and these extensive search efforts.
Anything underneath the water that you do not see, any kind of currents that may be, along with just the sheer size and length, once the water starts flowing, and I know with the rain, the current's possibly going to pick up, that it makes it very difficult.
And today I have seen again a large number of crews. We've seen canines, we've seen crews from Madison County, Clark County, a large contingent from Laurel County, each of them offering a number of different expertise and skill levels to help with this search effort here on the Kentucky River. Madison County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. And the top takeaway here, crews will not stop looking until they find that young man. They have not yet given us his name.